Here we are back with Jack Farmer in his fireman's man cave. Now I notice a lot of mugs around the room. Can you tell me where they came from?
Well, I started in the picking mugs up and when I went to Colony to fire, they were selling mugs, and I started my collection there, and it's like Topsy, it sort of grew. And I did buy a collection. A guy had a collection of them, and I bought a whole bunch of them. I had two assistant chiefs, but Don Spaeth, and he had a collection of mugs, and when he died, they were given to me, and people have beer mugs, they just sort of dump them at my door somehow.
Mm. Did you go to many conventions back in your days?
No, we weren't fortunate to have taxpayer help in those days. You were on your own.
Mm-hmm. You probably attended the Dutchess County Volunteer Firemen's Association convention, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the earliest days that you went to that convention?
No, I don't. I don't recall too much about it.
How about Hudson Valley Volunteer Firemen's Association? Did you ever attend one of those?
No.
Or FASNYs? No? Okay. So I see you have a great hobby building things, fire trucks and collecting old memorabilia.
Yeah, well, I like to play with wood.
Mm-hmm.
And back when I was a little younger, my hands were a little better, and I have you saw my models upstairs.
Yes, they're priceless. Did you belong to any organizations in the county beside the fire chiefs organization?
Well, I did belong to the exempts at one time before they went out. And,
the exempts, the Poughkeepsie exempts?
Yeah.
How long ago?
Oh, it's been quite a while ago because I've been
60s, maybe 70s.
Yeah, I've been retired for 26 years.
Mm-hmm. Is that where they had the hall in the city of Poughkeepsie? Or?
Yeah, even when it was down next to the Italian Center.
Okay.
So before they moved up on the square.
Oh, the Mansion Street, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And was it easy to join that club back in the day?
Oh yeah, it was for me. One of the guys that was my corporal at the jail, it was President Jimmy Mackey.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy.
That was a good club, right?
Oh yeah.
And I mean, the Poughkeepsie Fire Department, they date back pretty far, right?
Yes.
1800s, you think, or maybe before that?
I have no idea. Well, it was a good social place.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. All right. You got anything else to say, Jack? You'd like to touch on?
I don't know. What do you have? You got any questions?
Where do you see the fire service going? The volunteer fire service going?
Well, the volunteer fire service. My speeches I have given many times. It's the same theme. The volunteer fire service is the last bit of Americana that's still with us. It's the doing for others without compensation or without prejudice, simply because the job has to be done. the volunteer service has taken quite a beating in the last year. The golden era of, I was lucky to be part of what I consider in this area the golden era of the volunteer fire service. After the war, there were plenty of young fellows that were joining the fire department. All the equipment had become obsolete, and starting in the 50s, the upgrading, they went from single pumps up to multi-stage pumps, because the guys coming back from the war, the Navy guys fought fire with steam. They fought fire with high pressure, so they all wanted high pressure. Pleasant Valley had, I don't know, 3 or 4 stage pumps onto it, and now we've just changed right around and we're back to the single stage pump because we have an engine. If you want more water, you turn the dial, you run it a few more RPMs because you got a diesel in there that can push it down the road. One of the things that was the hardest to get through my board of fire commissioners out here was power, putting power in the trucks. They all kept thinking if they have too powerful a truck, it'll go too fast. And my thing was, I don't want to go fast, but I don't want to go slow. I don't want to go up past this house having to shift on this little hill down into Fourth and pulling it at 25 miles an hour. I wanted to go up past. And so all of the trucks that I ever spec'd, they had a top speed on them at 59 miles an hour and all out of the rear ends.
And were they most of them standard shift on the trucks?
No, well, the first one, the Yellowbird, was a standard shift. After that, everything is automatics. And when we were going into the new truck, I got on the phone and called Detroit. And I got a hold of an engineer at the engine department at GM. And I told him what I had. And in the Clove, you make the turn at the Clove and you start up Blueberry Mountain. That's a 10% grade throughout, about 80% of that, up through there. And he told me put in that 8V92 TA, and he told me the transmission, and that's what we put in them. And that's those Sutphens will pull that mountain.
Wow. At the top of Bluebird Mountain, what's the elevation up there, you think?
I don't really know.
Pretty high though, right?
Yeah, it's going up pretty good. Back in the old days, the biggest thing was coming back down the hills with the if you had a load of water in the truck, because the mechanic, the hydraulic brakes are taking a beat.
Probably burn them out, right?
Yeah.
Was there a water source on top of the Bluebird Mountain?
No, that's very little.
Mm-hmm.
Few and far between.
So you had to shuttle water up there?
Everything in this town was kind of
Shuttled, huh?
set up.
Is there any hydrants in Unionvale / Burbank?
Now, the only hydrant they have is this water system up at Greer.
And that's where you guys fill up the trucks all the time? Or do you draft?
Go draft.
Very good. Okay, Jack, that was great. Great stories.